Testing 1 2 1 2. You want to beef with the king? What you gonna do?
Welcome to the Call Your Cousins podcast, a podcast dedicated to exploring deep and complex topics that shape our world and human experiences. Before we dive into today's episode, we want to acknowledge the sensitive nature of some of the content we discuss. Please be advised that this podcast may include themes and discussions that could be triggering or uncomfortable for some listeners, including but not limited to discussions on mental health, violence, abuse, and other potentially distressing topics. Listener discretion is advised. Remember, this podcast is for informational and educational, but most importantly, entertainment purposes only, and should not be taken as professional advice. The views expressed by hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Call Your Cousins podcast. Enjoy the show. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Whatever time you're joining us, the cousins thank you for doing so. Welcome back to the Call Your Cousins podcast, a now tangible group chat of cousins that wanted to share our thoughts, humor, and growth with the world. And everyone's invited. Most of y'all.
I love y'all. I love this podcast, y'all. Even if we don't make it nowhere, I'll be looking forward to the recording.
It's therapy.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is.
If nothing else, it's therapy. Staying connected.
Mm-hmm.
But even if we don't,
Facts.
it's an enjoyable time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would say define what I feel like some people we were just talking about lying, like define success. What does success mean? What does success mean
It's
to you?
funny.
I don't think
It's
we've
funny
ever
you should
thought
say
that
that.
because we all have just kind of been like, well, we're here.
I feel like it's out there, so that's the six. What do you define as success? Like,
I ain't gonna lie. If we get 1,000 followers, I'm cool.
you so
Right.
silly.
That's a lot.
But you know, the first 1,000 probably the hardest though, no cap.
Exactly, that's
'Cause
true.
if you get 1,000 people to listen to you, like, okay, this somebody fucking with me. I ain't the only person that think like this. Like, it's probably pretty easy to multiply that and like get a little snowball going after that. So
I agree. I think that's success to me. Like we get 1,000 followers, we in there.
like some of our YouTube, they kind of approaching 100 views with that's kind of I think that's crazy because I know I ain't click on it 100 times.
And we ain't even been advertising or nothing for real.
I mean, somebody watching here and there, I guess. I'm thankful. Shit.
Me too.
I think it's crazy you ask like what is success defined as, because people's definition of success is wild to me. And not like wow, like, oh, that's a good, but wow, like that's
What are you talking about?
measurement?
Well, I've realized a lot of people haven't seen success
Right.
in any way in their lives, the people
Right.
around them. So they don't really know what that means.
It's very subjective, and obviously it's your subjectiveness would be based around what you've seen in your life. To your point, twin, like it's plenty of us that like, especially back at the crib, like people just be happy to get a county job and they successful. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I got that bus job, or I'm driving the what's some things that pick up the trash at the crib, the garbage truck, But people be proud, and ain't nothing wrong with that. That's what's up. Like, but that's their success.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is I think that's one of the things that that's probably what's intriguing to the research team is like you can define these things for yourself, and that's why it's wildly subjective.
Mhm.
Me and Twin was talking about it when she was down here, like, you know, when we say these words, first, what does the word mean, right? But then what does the word mean to you?
Right.
And so I think because when you do that, it strips away comparison, being comparative to everybody else in the age of, social media, right? Like, to say, well, in order for me to have success, I have to have these things because that's what they define as success. And I just,
Right. I gotta have 5 cars, 2 chains, 3 baby
yeah,
mamas.
yeah, like, and I was actually at this conference this week, and like, one of the native, like a indigenous member of Miccosukee, she was like, my definition of quality of life looks different to you. Like, you would see me on my land and you might think that I'm not successful, I live in poverty, right? And she was like describing how that's the problem with being in a Western society, is that we don't realize how indoctrinated we are into what we should think a way of life is, what we define quality of life. And I really felt that. And I've been feeling that, like, that's a part of just the woo-woo in me, is like, you really start to see how much everybody is talking like a duck, walking like a duck, and quacking like a duck. And kind of regurgitating the same things, and that's because people, like, right, all do things together too socially. So you have that social component, right?
And
Like,
that go back to the lying part on social media. It's like you could be spending time figuring out what makes you happy instead of trying to make it seem like you flying all over to the Caribbean and to Mexico and all this shit. Girl, most people don't ever take family trips. People don't be traveling every year. That is not people's reality. So why do you think you got to come on here talking about, oh yeah, I did it. Oh, I need to get the 6 figures. Have you ever thought about what is feasible for you and what makes you happy? Cause more money, more problems, for real. No Diddy. And I feel like people don't really know. Like, we be chasing wealth, but that shit come with a whole nother set of problems. And then it's stressful trying to hold on to wealth, especially if you wasn't born into like a rich family or some shit. Like, you could actually just be happy, like Dub said, in your bus job. Okay, you got benefits. You could feed your kids, whatever. Maybe I could save up. We can go on a trip next year. Like, I don't know. I've been on my whole journey. Happiness over
That's
everything.
goals for a lot of people, though. That's what's up. There's nothing wrong with that. That's
And there's
what's up, for sure.
nothing wrong with that. Like, y'all know, I don't know if I told the pod. I've been unemployed. And I had to stop telling people, y'all, because every time I tell people, they be like, well, what you gonna do now? And and what about this? I'm like, everybody calm down. Calm down. Okay.
I'm the one that's unemployed, not you.
It's not you. I ain't tell you to quit your job tomorrow. It's like people are it's almost like people's happiness depends on how other people validate how they live in their life. And it's like, but you the one that gotta live the life.
the best description would be, how I'm anti-wedding, right? Like, that be the biggest lie that people has bought into, and want everybody to validate the lie by coming to the wedding, and then want everybody validate the lie by buying the gifts and posting. I think I just seen that Pastor Bryant just got married. Jamal Bryant, did he get married this weekend? And right.
So
And
the AKA lady, she's beautiful, by the way.
she's beautiful.
She's
It's a sister.
gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean, but what I'm saying is, if that be if I think of one thing that equates to these lies, it be them weddings. For real, for real. I hate weddings.
And I
'Cause
used to feel like you were cynical when you said that.
until you seen the real.
The
So you're
Lord
not.
slapped me
So
over
when
the
I get
head.
married, I could just not send you the invite. That's what you're saying, or
Don't send me no invite. I'm not coming.
Send me the
okay.
invite. I love weddings in theory. Like I like being at the wedding. I don't give a fuck if the couple don't make it tomorrow. They can get a divorce tomorrow. I don't get annulment. Send me to the wedding, open bar me. Okay. I will be on the dance floor.
Nah, I don't like. I don't. And it's funny because one of my friends, um, the only people I go to weddings for that like really, really want me to go. And I'm just like, because they think of you and they say, like, I really want you at my wedding. And those are the ones I'll attend. But yeah, if I don't even, especially if I don't even know the person, right, who you getting married to, like, don't invite me, please.
I'll go to a stranger's wedding. I love it
Okay.
because this is my thing. It's the same reason I love Christmas.
Do
I feel like weddings
Those are so random.
and Christmas are like the only real times that people are like genuinely happy and like nice to each other and like having a good time. It's like a all happy event, unless you at a ghetto wedding. But I don't go to I don't go to that ghetto shit. In general, I feel like it's a time to be the Lulu and everybody's happy and kosher and just having a great time. Now y'all might be fighting behind the scenes, but I don't care about that. Give me the drink and the dance floor.
I was
and
gonna
we can be merry.
So you just there for the party.
I'm just there for the party. It's really just the party part.
Okay. Okay.
It's just that because the wedding part need to be 10 minutes, and let's go ahead and have cocktail hour and move it on to the reception.
So you want a 10-minute reception? I mean, a 10-minute ceremony with a 30-minute cocktail hour and a 2-hour party?
The party can go all night for real.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Cocktail hour can be like an hour or two. Okay, that I feel like I really went off on a tangent.
All right, listeners. Yeah, we was really just sitting here kicking it as fam, and we really just kind of seamlessly slithered into the mental health check because we was talking about people putting on and what they be doing for the gram and all this, that, and the third. But you know who you here with? It's the Call Your Cousins podcast. It's Dub here. We got Twin, P, and research team, of course, but you've already heard our opinions on a couple different topics, but we just gonna keep it going. What else is up, fam?
Can I give a disclaimer? Because I know we're gonna be talking about the election. We have not discussed the election amongst ourselves, and so we may have differing opinions. But to the listeners, just know it's all love. Even if we start screaming at each other, which we won't. But if we have a disagreement, whatever, it's all love.
I'm screaming.
If anybody's screaming, it's probably gonna be me. So I'm talking for self.
I was gonna say, are you talking to self?
So I'm speaking for self. If I start screaming, it's all love.
I was gonna say, I feel like you're speaking to self.
Correct.
I have never heard Dub scream in my life.
Well, you heard him scream.
Never.
It's rare.
Never.
Usually I'll yell if I'm having fun or something, or I'm talking too loud, but that's about it.
Even in, I don't.
I never. Yeah. Okay. Well, mental health check-in before
You calling me pussy?
Before we get into the foolishness, I was gonna unpack this, but honestly, I'm tired. I just want to say RIP to those family members in my life who passed away in the past 2 weeks. I don't even know if we really need to mention them for real.
We don't. We can take that statement as We'll take it as that.
Rest in peace, Dawson.
I'm gonna just say RIP and leave it there.
Yep, that's fine.
Well, how y'all doing?
Wow. Remember Tom Joyner back in the day?
It hasn't been a pleasant experience, so leave me out of. The family, whoever listening, leave me out of anybody. The next person that die, leave me out of it.
Well,
I
if it,
don't want to be involved,
yeah.
and that's it.
Well, how's your I mean, we don't gotta get into it, but you can just say you straight or you not. Like, how's your mental health in regards to that?
I'm good today. It definitely was triggering, and I had to talk to my therapist. I wasn't good for about 2 weeks. I'm gonna be honest, but I did the things. I talked to y'all, so talked to some family, and kind of got my feelings out, which is why today I'm kind of like, I just don't. I'm okay. I realize, and during shot o'clock, I have some news, but I realized I need to get away from family for a while because I still feel triggered by some things. And I need to get myself together so that I can be around family and not be so fragile when foolishness happens. So I'm okay today.
Yeah, people gotta realize anybody could get cut off at any time.
Listen,
Anybody.
That part.
anybody. Okay. So I'm good today. How y'all doing?
That's what's
Well,
up,
that's good.
Taurus.
That's interesting.
I'm
I'm tired.
Truth is, I'm tired.
Like, yeah. Physically, I'm tired. Mentally, I'm tired. So, I'm taking it one day at a time, one box at a time. Because I'm moving. So, but yeah, I'm tired.
Come on, one box at a time. I just use that analogy for somebody else.
Yeah, it's too much to like try to do all the things or try to tackle on a lot right now. So the goal is just, hey, just a box a day, and we'll progressively get better. But you gotta attempt to start, otherwise you'll
So
never get anywhere.
research, you move in cities or just your dwelling?
Oh no, I'm moving into a whole different state, whole different what's that time zone? Yeah.
Older? Oh, you going west.
It's
Wow.
I am. I had to think
I
about
mean,
it.
we
It's
in
west
East
of
right
here.
now, so if you move into a different time
Yeah,
zone,
you have to be going west. Okay.
context clues.
I'm tired, y'all. Okay.
Listen, you just said that, so you're right. You're right.
You're right. Moving west, moving out west. I be confused because I'm like, of where I am right now. I'm like, wait, is it? But I see what we're saying now. So
If you
how's
go
everybody
further
else feeling?
east, you ain't gonna be here no more.
Not in this time zone.
In the country.
So you a time
Oh,
traveler.
so man.
P
Somebody
Money,
else.
how you doing?
Right. What's good, P Money? How's your mental?
I'm straight.
True.
I'm in the upside down, right?
Okay.
Right now, I would agree with research team that I am taking it at a time. Yeah, from a astral perspective, Pluto is getting ready to move into my sign on the 19th, which is a huge planetary shift. It will last until 2044. So I'm really looking forward to kind of that energy because it's moving from Capricorn. And so yeah, I'm taking it a day at a time, showing up where I can every day. That's all I really got. I mean, I think as a collective, or in the collective, we're all in this kind of interesting energy, would be the word I'd like to use. And so, yeah, that's all I really got. I take my vitamins, I wake up, thank the Lord. That's it. What you got, Doug?
You know, Dub good. I'm chilling. I'm just happy this thing we've been going through the past 2 years is over. So happy. I think the entire country is drained and we're tired.
We are tired.
And
And
what I mean by that is the election is finally over. I'm gonna insert an applause clap right here somewhere.
can you also insert a sound of despair? Because
Oh,
Yeah,
Right.
deep sigh. I
yeah,
got you.
a
I'm gonna find it.
a deep sigh. Because should we just go ahead and get into it?
yeah, go ahead. Jump right
The
in.
question that
Me
I put
first.
here is, I put election 2024. How do we move forward? I have
can answer
several
that.
thoughts. Go
I
ahead.
can answer that.
Go ahead, Doug.
I can tell you what men think, just because I am. You get up the next day and go to work.
Yeah. And
Your life
unfortunately,
just continues. That it just is what it is, and you just find a way to adjust in your personal life. Now, are you asking how we move forward as a culture, as a country, as a people? Like, what's your real question?
all of that. Because unfortunately, I've seen people saying, well, shit, black people gonna be straight. We done been through worse. And it's just like that's a trauma response. And we have been through worse. And unfortunately, no matter who's in office, our daily lives is pretty much the fucking same. And that is the real problem that I have. I mean, besides that orange man being in office, we know he don't care about women's rights. He don't care about immigrants. He don't care about none of that but money. But
Facts.
when I really think about it, what has changed for black people under anybody?
Just for context for the listeners, the election, this election cycle, 2024 United States concluded about 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, maybe, at this point. So we've had some time to kind of sit back and reflect and see really what's what. Donald Trump did end up, I don't want to say beating, but yeah, beating Kamala Harris in the primary election. And that's kind of where we are right now.
Yeah. I have several thoughts on how to move forward, but I'm not sure that I'm and right here I'm talking about specifically as black people. I'm not sure that we want change enough to really galvanize and do anything about it. I feel like we're just kind of like, nah, shit, been sorry for us. So, and then 15 to 18 million people didn't even vote, and I heard a lot of us saying, I'm actually good. I probably won't even show up, and that's concerning because how are you going to enact change if you don't even show up? What y'all think? Pete, I know you got a lot to say. You've been real quiet over there.
She taking notes. She pulling her
Yeah,
notes out.
She got a whole
What you finna say?
PowerPoint
Research?
presentation. I was gonna say I know this may sound strange, But I kind of feel a sigh of like, I don't want to say relief, but it's just like, okay, it's finally done. He's been elected. Legally, he can't do a third term, so let's just do our time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, let's just figure out ways to navigate, because it's always a
But
wild time
then
in these
what?
Americas, but I think it's gonna become an even more wild time um for us. And I think I guess the positive side, or the takeaway here, is that hopefully some people can kind of like reflect back and say, you know what, I dropped the ball, I messed up. Let me educate myself, let me do the things that I can do um to make things better. Because I think even though there's always some type of like trauma, or like some type of like, oh, this sucks, there's always like a wave of like, okay, well, how do we come together? How do we, become smarter, faster, think more strategic for the future? I think that happens. This is like the catalyst for change in some regard to some people's lives, behaviors, in a positive way.
See, I guess
I
I
think
feel like. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think I just thought of something. I know you mentioned, well, both of you mentioned, Twin and research team, about galvanizing and coming together. And now I'm thinking about it. There's probably, I mean, to galvanize or to come, like you really need the majority
Right.
of a specific faction or group of people. And when I think about it now, like there are millions and millions of educated Black folks in this country, right? But our spectrum is so wide between Black folks that are educated and those that are not, or that live in poverty or in the hood. And I think that the educated ones are the ones that care, the ones that, self-educate, whatever. I think we all just want different things, as opposed to, it's just asking for different things between those that are in the know and those that don't know or don't care.
That's
So I
so
think it's
good.
kind of hard to galvanize the people that don't care or are uneducated about what's really going on, because they're just looking at life as like a day-to-day thing. Like, I got to make sure, I got food to eat tomorrow type. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, and that was the intention of colonization and slavery. AP US history. I had this old
Right.
white man. He really taught us a lot. Divide and conquer was the goal from the beginning, and it's still the goal, and it worked. And I just been thinking lately about, if you don't study history, you're doomed to repeat it, which is part of the reason why they want to take all this stuff out of our history books and stuff, because it's just been really a negative cycle in America. This is not the first time we had a clown in office, Ronald Reagan. This is not the first time that the American people have shown their ass and just completely gone back to caveman times because things was getting too progressive. It keeps happening. And black people, people of color, everybody, we are so divided. Like you said, Dub, we want so many different things. Some of us just give me the money and let me go live my life right. Some of us like, let me help us. Some of us like, fuck it, I'm gonna just scam the system and do what I gotta do for my kids. The white people were successful in dividing and conquering us, and that is why we are here now. So we
Right.
need.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I didn't mean to mention that. Like, I was saying, our spectrum is so vast, like
Yeah.
just from one end to the other. And I think it is because of systemic oppression, because like I was mentioning, those that know or those that are educated versus those that are not or don't care. There's no easy way for us to talk to each other and the other one understand clearly.
So what do we do about that? Is it over? Is it too late, y'all? Were white people so successful that it's just over? And we are where we are, and we're gonna be here. Some of us gonna make it out, some of us ain't, and it is what it is.
But to me, I think that's always been the case. Some of us making it out and some of us
Facts.
progressing forward.
But
Even
it's
when
not
they,
it's
you
not
know, brought
enough
us
of
over
us.
here.
But it's not enough of us making it out, I feel. So
I
what
don't
do
know if
we
it's not enough of us making it out, but I think it feels like there's been like I would say like a stall or a wave of like, you know what, we tired, so we just sit down. You know what I mean?
And mind you, we're being very like reactionary right now, just based on emotion. I mean, there's some funny stuff going on because as we speak, they're doing, cabinet selections and stuff. But we don't have to be this somber or this sad because we don't know what's what yet. We can kind of see what we think it could be and listen to so quote unquote experts or whatever on what they think may happen, but we don't know for sure. We don't know if this is a death sentence for the country or whatever. But it's still very early. He hasn't actually been to office yet. So for this cycle, I mean, what you think, P Money?
So I think with voting, and this is something that President-elect Trump previously didn't understand, is in an electoral process, you really have to kind of accept it because it's almost like a census, or it's a gauge, or I mean, it's polling the sentiments of the country. And if we are to believe, which we are to believe, that people think that President-elect Donald Trump is the way forward. People in America feel that way very strongly. And when we think about voter turnout, it's this notion that everybody actually goes and vote. And I just want to give some perspective to the listeners that, in America, you have roughly over 200 million eligible voters. It ranges from about 200 million to about 244 million in voter eligible population. And since 2012, you've only had up to about 60% of voters actually turning out for voting. One of the highest voting turnout was actually during the pandemic in 2020, that election, with 66% voter turnout. And so when you think about that, if I'm to back to my original statement, this election gives the sentiments to what America feels, then there's a big percentage of Americans who just don't care.
Yeah.
I agree. Yep.
And so I have to start to ask Black people, if they're the ones who feel the most slighted by this election, is why do you care? Why are we still trying to play this game? this simulation that does not work for Black people. And I give that context by thinking about the cabinet picks. And this is why, when you have people who want to play in this game of, voter turnout should also represent, you send people to an official office because they are a representation of you, right? So we look at the cabinet picks and I don't see any Black people. Not one. And so that, and that goes back to this notion of killing DEI. DEI was never really about what white people started to make it out to be. It's really that Black people get tired of going into rooms and not seeing anybody that looks like them. And to say that they are not qualified is nearly ridiculous. Right? Like it's absolutely ridiculous. And so and so I think about all those people that are those Black people that voted for Trump, President-elect Trump, and I wonder, how does maybe you then cling to whiteness and believe that Black people aren't qualified at all to have any federal appointments and positions?
I want to piggyback off your question when you said, why do you care, Black people? And that's where I am too, P, because I don't think I realized how many of us still think the system gonna do anything for us. Like, people were completely devastated and shocked, and I guess I just don't understand what it's gonna take for us to revolutionize ourselves and realize white people ain't gonna do a damn thing for us. Why are we shocked by this? They would enslave us again if they could. And I think that was so going back to what I was saying earlier, I think that is what has been heartbreaking for me. And like you said, you don't know if this will break the country, but to me, I've been thinking about, will this break Black people? Because it seemed like we've just lost hope, and we really were like hoping for some type of change in the system. That is never going to happen until we start shaking tables. Like they have shown us over and over and over and over again. They don't give a fuck if you ain't white and male, white women.
I will say this I don't think it'll break us, just because us as a people, we're just some of the most resilient people on the planet. Like, you learn when you're real young in our demographic and our culture, figure it out. And that's what we just keep doing over and over and over again. We may not fix anything necessarily, but we gonna make it. We're gonna be all right.
Right, but so resilience is the term to come back from, to bounce back from, right? And so I think that, and this probably goes back to kind of what you guys were speaking about earlier with this idea of galvanization of the collective, right? The brown and Black people, right? And it just, what are we truly going to come back from this time? Like, how are we going to be resilient again? Right? And I think that because for the most part, and we talked about this on the pod a couple weeks ago, especially I think I'm the only conservative on the pod. I feel like, you know, where are we actually going? Because I'm still thinking in the context of the American sentiments, right? What American people truly think and what they believe. And where when you say, okay, but Black people have always been resilient, that is true. But how are we going to come back from this when you have, in large part, a lot of African Americans and Black and brown people who put their trust in a party that completely failed them? I mean, the Democratic Party, since President Obama, has completely failed their constituents from a presidential standpoint. And so, and I would even say, even back to, kind of, you would have thought that there would have been a regrouping with, when Hillary Clinton ran, right? Like they would have, galvanized themselves into something that really was reflective of the people, but you don't have that. And so what you see from the conservative side is people uniting behind a singular message. The problem is they don't care that with that message comes racism, comes all these other hatred, indoctrination. Like they don't care, because if you have people who in this country, feel if they're what matters to them, what they cared about. We just established that only 60 something percent of Americans actually went and voted. So there is a percentage of people who don't even care to go vote. So those that did care, what mattered most to them was the fact that they go to the grocery store and they, their whole check is being spent there. And then they have this this idea, through misinformation or not, that we have a border crisis. And so, which is almost sometimes hilarious to me, because one thing I think about when I think about immigration is immigration has been how a lot of white people even got into America.
Everyone.
Elon Musk is not American. He's not American.
Correct. That's how it
With
started.
the exception of the indigenous, of course, but they have their
They
own
were slaves.
problems and issues with this country. But everyone got here from somewhere else.
Correct.
Correct.
Oh, and sorry, Pete, not to cut you off. I
So,
do agree. Oh, go ahead.
No, I mean, and so I land there where you made a good point, A-Dub, when you said, we don't necessarily have to be reactionary in this moment, and we can really just wait and see. Where do we go from here? How do we move forward? Is a question. And I think that, we have to, I don't know, when they keep saying they, being anyone that is not pleased with this election cycle, I don't know when they say we are going to fight what they mean, because there are not enough people within even our own community that are willing to even fight, because it doesn't matter to them the way that it matters to those people who have been carrying the fight, right? When I think of resiliency, I think about Stacey Abrams, right? Abrams, I got it right, Abrams.
Yep.
Yeah, right,
That's
yeah.
a person I think that's resilient, right? Like she works tirelessly in the state of Georgia, but she's only one person. And one thing, if you looked at all of the voter turnout, you had in these major cities, you know, that's usually where a lot of liberals live. So you'd have all this blue. And literally within 10 to maybe 15 miles out, I would say 20 miles out, but let's say 30, 50 to be safe, nothing but red. So
That's a fact.
maybe the liberals are the ones living in denial about what do people care about and what matters to people. And I think that you know, when we think about again, how do we move forward? Well, what does moving forward even look like? Because honestly, it's like when President-elect Trump got elected the first time around. It was kind of like, well, he's supposed to be the successful businessman, so let's see. But proved for me, my singular reason for, other than many other reasons, obviously, was just unforgivable to me was the COVID crisis. I just never can, you know, with public health is always one of those things that like I could never, that was really unforgivable to me for a president to not inform the American people of a deadly disease that, you know, still to this day people quote unquote believe or don't believe actually happened. Right. And so we're in this age of misinformation. We're in this age of artificial intelligence, which breeds off of misinformation. And I just think that we're just gonna have to I from my perspective, you know, as again being just a radical person, we just gotta wait and see. Because I don't think that we are in the time of or the era of the civil rights movement. Like those days are so gone because people within just Black people within their own community just don't care enough. And that's the truth. So let's start there. Let's just start there.
Shifting from Black people for a second, I have a question. Latinos, are y'all okay? Are y'all okay? You are not white. They don't give a fuck about you either. I saw this family on CNN talking about,
Seen them. They look crazy.
yeah, we voted for Trump. They're not going to deport our family because, you know, the people they deporting are criminals and our family's not committing crimes. Huh?
Wait till they get that knock on the door.
What?
Come with me, please.
Are y'all okay?
That was racist. Sorry. This podcast is not racist, but that was racist. I said that. My bad.
It's okay. It's okay. We're living in racist times, clearly. Because at this point, leave this in. I'm like, deport their ass. Deport them. Because what the fuck? He blatantly told y'all to y'all face he getting y'all up out of here.
A mass exodus, by the way. Like, just
Let
y'all all got to go.
them
Right.
out of here. Yes, Dub. Because what are you talking about?
I mean, I think the easiest way for Latins, Latinos, Hispanics to think about this is there has to be stepping stones for them. They came to the United States for a reason, right? Whether it be for work or for better opportunities or to political asylum in their own countries, or they come from a dictatorship, wherever the reason they came for a better life, right? And the American dream is the American dream. You can literally come from nothing and become the president. And you can't do that in other countries for the most part.
Yeah.
There's a caste system, there's a class system, or what have you, which there's a soft one here. It does exist, but it's still possible. You know what I'm saying? I think what they don't understand, or what they aren't thinking about, is that if there are no minorities being elected to these really high offices, there's no opportunity for them to do it either. Somebody's got to do it first. You get what I'm saying? So a black woman going into office, that just opens the door for, okay, now we've had a black woman, we've had a black man. What's next? Latinos. It's millions of them here. The tens of millions, probably 100 million. That's light work. Like, if they just thought about it that simply, like, yo, we could be the president. Like, what else are you thinking about? Like, you thinking about today, but what about tomorrow? And that's how I think about it.
I ain't gonna lie, that was one of the most shocking things about the outcome for me. Like, I know Cubans think they're white, you know, I know that they have a big colorism issue in the Hispanic community. But he told y'all to y'all face that y'all getting up out of here. And you said, no, it's only the criminals. That's not what he said, and that's not what he showed us the first time. Is everybody okay?
I
No.
think some of them feel like when they come here, they assimilate or act more white, then they'll be afforded those privileges, and that's not true.
They were not enslaved like we were. So I guess they don't have the view of white people that we do. But white people care about whiteness, pure Puritan, Anglo-Saxon whiteness, and that alone. They was trying to get the Irish people up out of here. If you deviate at all from Anglo-Saxon whiteness and the Italians, like, what? I just think that was the most baffling part for me. And then when y'all get deported, you're gonna be looking around like, huh? So, black man, are y'all mad at Obama?
Black man here? Nah. Oh, this reminded me of something about what P said. I agree with you, P. The Democratic Party definitely did let us down. I think we were spoiled with Obama, like the policies and all that stuff. That's one thing, but Obama was a superstar, like as a politician, like just coming into running for election. Like, nobody had ever heard of Obama before he ran for president. He was just a guy, but like a senator from Chicago, and then all of a sudden he's running for president. But he was just so charismatic. But I think the Democratic Party did a great job of selecting him, grooming him, and I think they got too comfortable. So then when it was time to run against Trump the first time, they hadn't groomed anybody. They didn't have anybody waiting in the wings that was like, you know, a burgeoning superstar of a politician in the Senate or House or a governor somewhere. They didn't have anybody. So I think they definitely dropped the ball on that, and we lost the first time in 2016. Happened, just luckily won in 2020, and it's like they didn't fix it. They just sat back and said, oh, well, we'll see. And unfortunately that it gets forced on the American people.
Yeah, they didn't set up for success. I think I don't know what they was doing, what kind of fires they was trying to put out that had them distracted from the bigger plan here.
I agree with P.
Their thumbs.
I agree. I do think that they are completely out of touch with what the average person wants and needs, and they're like pandering to us and just not in reality with what we need. Because I think they thought, like you said, Dub, they thought Hillary was a shoo-in because she a Clinton, so we don't really have to put forth much effort. And it was like, girl, you ain't saying nothing about what we're talking about. People was apathetic then, and that's why Trump won. And I don't know why the Dems didn't regroup from that. It's like they just lost in La La Land. I don't know if we just need a whole revamping of the Democratic Party or what, but they are lost, and I don't know why.
Mind you, Trump did win the electoral college, but Hillary did have the popular vote.
She did, but people also. But I'm just saying, I don't think people were excited about it. Like if
At
they're
all.
like, you
Correct.
remember,
Yeah, they
people were
weren't.
excited
They
about
weren't.
Obama. Go ahead, research.
I was gonna say they weren't. Yeah, they weren't rallying around her, and it's like we needed someone who had some sauce, some swag, something, because people were not excited. They weren't excited this time around. They weren't excited when she.
No. Mm-mm. And it goes back to they just don't care. Like, you got to give people something to care about. You got to give them a carrot. You have to. Because most people, I think we were talking about this on, before we, I think we were, chopping it up in the beginning of this episode. Like, people are very much not, when it's, because I don't want to insult anyone's intelligence, but the average person doesn't even understand that inflation has absolutely nothing to do with the economy. It's pure corporate greed. It's literally corporate greed.
It's
They don't
literally
have
that.
to, they do not even have to raise the prices that high. They raising it because they got to get their lick back from COVID.
Listen, let's talk about it.
Like, it literally has nothing to do with the economy. And then it's like when you start to realize that it's a bigger game being played. What simulation are y'all? Where are you logging in as? Like, what fighter are you choosing? That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not choosing a fighter. What am I fighting for? What the things that matter to me, I can't do nothing about it. The things that matter to me, there's literally nothing I can do. I can't starve. I cannot not buy gas.
I remember I said back
Like,
then,
really?
the economy is going to be shit in a few years. I remember having this conversation with research team. I said, what we don't know is the economy is going to be crap in a few years, because one thing corporate America gonna do is get their money back by any means necessary.
Every time,
Every
no
time.
matter who die in the room on the back table over the weekend,
They're getting their money back. And what we gonna do? Just stop buying stuff? So it's been shocking to me that people have attributed the shit economy strictly to the government. It's like, did y'all forget that we was inside for like 2 years? Companies was losing money. They got to get that back. You thought they were just gonna take that hit?
money.
Right. So I feel like Malcolm X was right, y'all. I feel like Black people, we need to somehow have our own shit again. Like, separate but equal, whatever. Like, we need to stop being a peaceful people, okay? I'm down with the Malcolm X philosophy. And I kind of feel like they were growing up in history, they kind of villainized him for real. But as an adult, I'm like, we need that type of revolutionary thinking again in order for us to start making progress. Did y'all see that his daughters is suing the FBI, CIA,
Seen that.
DEA, ATF, all of the above for $100 million?
I seen that. I mean, I don't know when else they could have done it. You couldn't have really done it in the 80s or 90s because there wouldn't have been enough awareness on it.
Yeah.
But today, like everybody can know, but I think there's just so many people, especially younger people, Gen X, who are in adulthood now, but they just don't know who Malcolm X was or what he stood for or anything like that. So they may not care. And a lot of times court of public opinion can, sway things that happen in civil court.
Yeah, that's true. It shouldn't, but it definitely does.
I'm saying that to say I don't think it's going to go anywhere personally.
You don't think so? But in a perfect world, I feel like they give them the money.
Didn't we just spend the first 40 minutes talking about our country is shit? This ain't no perfect world. They out of there.
I know. P, what you think? You quiet over there.
Anyway, go ahead, research. Oh, but I seen him do the little press conference with your boy Crump. I've said this before. I can't stand when that man speaks out loud. Like it just, and that's
Sorry.
beside the point. But damn, come on.
I was just taking a moment of silence because sometimes just the way to having these conversations just really just it just
Right,
really
like that's what
takes
we
me
came
there.
to. Yeah.
Yeah, it really weighs on me because if we thinking from a historical standpoint in context, you really start to think about our ancestors, right? And it's like if they're with us, they endured so much worse than we are now. Even, America in general, when you had the Great Depression, right? And so it's like this idea that we want things to be like Dub just said, like we want things to be good and we want things to be prosperous and we want things to be roses and cherries and all those things. But it's like that's really not the reality of most people on this planet either. Like most people in this world are suffering. You have human conflict going on in other parts of the world right now. And it's just like the weight of it sometimes just really it's heavy. And so that's why I'd say there was some quiet because I just really sit with this stuff, and because I was thinking to myself, I'm like, if a listener is listening to us, how do y'all feel, right? Like, what are y'all gonna do? What do you want to do? What do you care about? Like, and when you look at the exit polls are just some of the most fascinating things that I love to look at. After any election. And, when you look at them, they're very much either extreme. When I say extreme, You have extreme by gender. You have extreme by race. You have extremes by people who think they're political, right? And then you start to look at the economy aspect, and it's really down the middle. So an example, in 2023, total family income under $30,000 is right in the middle, 50% Democrats, 46% Republicans. Shimmies down the middle from 30,000 to 50,000, 45% Democrat, 53% Republican, 50,000 to 99,000, 46% Democrat, 51% Republican, 100,000 to 200,000, 51% Democrat, 47% Republican, $200,000 and more, 51% Democrat, 45% Republican. So when it comes to the dollar, everyone's voting down the middle, but the extremism starts when you look at religion. Protestant and Christian, 36% Democrat, 60%, 63% Republican. Non-religious, like doesn't affiliate with anything, 71% Democrats, 20%, 26% Republican. Religion among white voters. I mean, this is a fascinating stat. 26% Democrat that are Protestant other than Christian, 72% Republican, non-religious affiliation, 71% Democratic, 27% Republican. So like the country all agrees from an economic standpoint on basically what you make, your dollar value is right down the middle. But it's when we get into these social, religion can be social aspects of our way of life, you start to see that there are just these crazy extremes. And so for Black people, again, for us, by us, FUBU, that Malcolm X complex, what are we gonna do? Because they don't care. What if anything this election cycle has taught us, they actually don't care about what Black people care about, and that's period. The Christians don't care what Black people want.
Well,
the Protestants don't care about what Black people want. They don't care. So when are Black people gonna do what they need to do so what their needs are being met? So that's what it goes back to the original question. What is the country gonna do for you? Because it ain't on that JFK no more. Ask not, what do you say? Ask not what the country can do for me, but what can I do for my country? What is it doing for you? And if it's the summation of your the summation of what is important to you is TikTok, then we got a long road to go. And if that's gonna get banned, we have a long road. If the summation of what's important to you is the fact that Netflix keeps getting these live streaming deals, and I couldn't properly watch Mike Tyson shimmy across the boxing ring because who wanted to see that? I did not want to sign up to see his old behind in the ring. Who like it was live streaming and it stopped streaming. Netflix messed up again.
For real?
Yes.
Was looking forever buffering.
We
It
were
ain't stop stream,
buffering.
but yeah, it was buffering and it was pixelating. I was like, I know I got gig internet. Something's up here.
What? See, I ain't even watching. I ain't want to see that foolishness anyway. Wow.
Netflix, you had one job. One job.
Why
Yeah.
they decide to start airing fights anyway?
I
That
don't
seems
know. That's
random.
what I'm
Money.
saying. I don't know who.
I
Duh.
mean,
They
yes.
about to have
but-
NFL games too.
Mm.
See, this is what I'm saying. Like, who wanted this?
Mind
But
you,
I think that's enough for. Mind you, what?
I was gonna say, mind you, is genius because obviously that would typically be a pay-per-view event. Most people already have Netflix, so
That's
it's
true.
just there. So of course you can turn on Netflix and watch a major fight or a football game. I mean, they really just doing what Amazon did with the Thursday night football games. Like same thing.
It just seemed random. Like they was just like, "Hey, let's air a Tyson fight." So it was just
I
buffering
don't
the
think it
whole
was
time.
anything random about this at all.
Yeah.
I don't dance now. I made money moves. Hey.
Well,
But
we gotta
that's all it
then.
was.
Yeah, boy, Trick Daddy said he not African American. How do we feel about that term these days? I kind of feel weird about it. I just feel like I'm black.
Right. I get the message he was trying to say. Wrong messenger though. Yeah, we black.
Yeah.
Definitely wrong messenger. Definitely.
Yep. And so with that, I would say this is gonna be a long 4 years, and we're gonna see y'all in 2028. Holla at us. See y'all then.
2028.
I will see y'all then.
God willing, we make it.
We're gonna make it. You said we resilient.
We resilient. We're going to. That's
We
what I'm
gonna make
saying.
it.
I did.
We just can't lose all of our spirit and hope. Because I heard a lot of people saying they feel hopeless because they still had their faith in the system. So hopefully this wakes some people up, and we're gonna move forward.
Literally all we can do.
Yeah. The left needs to be the left should be in the lab right this second.
They
formulating a plan, planning, just at least make it more competitive. You know what I'm saying? They should be coming up with something.
Yeah.
We shall see. But the highlight of the election process for me was Thugger is home.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
My dog back. Because somebody was like, Fanny, I think Fanny got reelected. And I'm like, I don't care nothing about her. She locked my dog up. No. No. Y'all better leave black people alone. Stop locking these rappers up. Except for what's that boy name?
Well, some of them need to be in there.
The one that the murder for hire, Dirt. Now
Yeah, he need to be.
Wow.
He need to be in there.
I mean, yeah, you're going. We ain't gonna see you again. You gonna be in there.
It's over. He was a menace, a complete. He was nuts.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, what's crazy about that is like, don't you know the phones listen? Even if you don't think the phone's listening to you, bro, like the phones.
Listen,
like, you think you're gonna get away with murder for hire this age? Like, get out of
you
here.
a black man.
But the thing is, like, you gotta. I mean, that's what got Doug caught up. You know what I'm saying? Even though all his charges were from like 2017, but once you make it, you can't have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. It don't work like that. Of course, you're gonna get caught. Why would you even do that?
Yeah.
I
That's
I don't know.
true.
I think it'd be the privilege. That's the one thing about white supremacy that people don't understand or can't really rationalize is the privilege that comes with that. This behavior, the behavior of privilege, and that also extends to wealth, right? And you just have people that obtain this kind of wealth, and this then makes them feel that sort of privilege, and it just doesn't actually work the way that it works for white people. And so, I think that's really kind of what happens, because we say that, right? Like, oh, well, if you get out the game, you can't have one foot in, one foot out. But it's like, in reality, that's how most it's how most people who are criminals continue to do their business, right? Like, the biggest thing that we saw from Trump's presidency was he was a president, but then he was also doing a lot of criminal stuff. Like, New York sued this man, and he can't even do business in New York, I think, for like 3 years, just based off of his business ethical practices in the Trump organization. Like, Rudy Giuliani was one of the most respected law people ever, and he got disbarred. So I think it's this assumption that, like, like you said, like, oh, okay, you really shouldn't have one foot in and one foot out. Yeah, I mean, morally you shouldn't, but at that point, who's defining the morals? Like, I think, because I was talking to someone the other day, and they were like, he's gonna be on parole for like 15 years. And I'm like, if you've been locked up for a year, I hope you would find a way not to go back. Like, I think he's been locked up maybe more than a year, but like, I ain't trying to go back. So I don't know. But welcome home, Thug. So happy to see you. First day out. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
With that, I heard, when they always lock them up like that, I always think about when Trick always saying that song, "Cause you still and what do we he recently said he's not African American.
Cause you's a nigga. You still a nigga. That's it. I forget the name of the song though, but I know it was on Thugs R Us.
It was.
And what's funny about that? It was on Thugs R Us, and what's been hilarious to me is, like, what people don't understand from a social standpoint with racism is then it becomes more blatant. Did anyone see that ESPN girl say the N-word on live TV?
I wasn't even
And
gonna bring
then
that up.
what was hilarious to me was the clown that was on the show,
Laughing.
and he just laughed,
Nigga.
goofy,
You just a nigga in the coop.
goofy, because ain't no way, not to my
Cool.
face,
Ain't no
way.
I heard it
Ain't
a
no
few
way.
times. She said niggets. She was trying to say nuggets. I'm not giving the white man grace. I know it's a woman.
I watched it a few
By
times.
white
It
man, I
sounded
mean
like
white people. I'm just saying. She was trying to say nuggets, and she said niggets. It just sounds like niggas.
it sounded like niggas to me.
No,
All right, don't believe me. Don't believe me.
I watched it a few times too. I mean, I'm not saying that that's not possible, but also, sir, you was cackling, and I ain't like it.
the cackling for me, it's the it was the cackling. I'm like,
I ain't like it.
I don't even care if it sounded remotely close to it. I don't care. I'd have been like, I'd at least gave a side eye. I wouldn't have been laughing.
Right.
It wouldn't have been it wouldn't have been nothing funny about that. Nothing.
I might not have made a big deal,
It's
but
always
he's getting a side eye.
Right. He can't make a big deal. He trying to keep his black job.
But I would have
listen.
gave a side
I'm
eye.
as
His black
something
job.
that ain't no ain't no way. I'm telling you right now. So, I would say that's just gonna be one of those things that start to circulate in society, is the tolerance. When you have racist ideology just seen as okay by your political government, you're going to see more of it here and there. So it's going to be an interesting time. I'm sure we're going to see more of that word being said on live TV, or just slipping amongst people who are non-Black who feel the need to use the word. But yeah, why did Trick say he's not African American though? Is he?
He said he don't feel no relationship to Africa. He ain't never been there. That ain't got nothing to do with him. He's a black.
He ain't wrong.
Right. He's not wrong. I think y'all right. It's just the wrong messenger. Because when I read what he said, I was like, I mean, where's
Correct.
the lie?
Just it's the messenger. It's the messenger.
I was gonna say, because I think African American really is more about identifying us within the diaspora. We are a displaced people. And so I would say African American, even Black being, I don't think people really remember that, the word term Black pride, Black beauty, Blackness as a good thing really only kind of formulated in the 60s during the civil rights era, where it became, synonymous with pride and solidarity in the use of the term. But I would say African American really is a term that allows for us to keep that thread of Africa. And it goes back to, kind of what I was saying earlier about, the ancestors. I hope the ancestors want they lit back too. Because like I said, our ancestors dealt with so much worse than this. Like, truly, like in perspective, our ancestors dealt with so much more worse than this. So like, we should to some degree have peace in that, knowing that one, we're going to be okay, and two, the marathon to some degree continues. And so yeah, I think wrong messenger, but I think that's really where that African part kind of stays with, because you said it earlier, Twin, like having US citizenship was something that you think that was just given to Black people, but it wasn't. It was something that had to be put into law to give us citizenship in America, right? Like when we were enslaved and then freed, they didn't know what to do with us being Black people from Africa. So, Trick could say, I'm not African American, but your citizenship that you obtained came from those who were enslaved. That's why when Twin says things like they would easily enslave us if they could, it's because they wrote a law to not slave us, but they can unwrite that law. And if you don't know that, you really need to Google the amendments.
They already
These
started
are
sending them
amended.
text messages.
Like
Y'all saw them black
we
people getting them racist texts.
like they would enslave us if they could. They could. They would. They would. It wasn't given to us. They had to make it a law. Just food for thought, people. Food for thought. So that's all I'm gonna say about that.
I mean, not to get too deep, but I personally feel like the term now kind of feels a bit,
Antiquated.
yeah, and like we're being rejected from being just Americans. Because when you think about Hispanic Americans or Asian Americans or other, like, they're Asian first, and you can see that in their first generation, second generation, third generation. They have some connection there. That's why they have to call themselves Asian. I am an Asian living in America. Bitch, we was born here. Our parents was born here. Grandparents was born here. Their grandparents was born here. Like the slaves who came over here, yeah, they were African American because they literally got off the boat. We've been here because y'all forced us over here. So at this point, it's almost like, yeah, they're African American. They're not really Americans. We are. We influence American culture. We've been here. We built the country. Like, at what point are we just Black Americans?
I don't even
That's the
think we
thing, they
need
don't want us.
to. If you got feet on land and you standing here, I don't even think you need to put American after it. Honestly, like
Yeah,
people white American is a term, but you don't use that in everyday
that's
talk.
true.
That dude is white. He's just white.
Yeah,
So if you talking about us, we black. We just black, which I'm sure black just came from. They were just called white. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
They're not. Oh, I'm Irish American. I'm Italian American. Like nobody
Right.
says that. Like you just white.
Yeah.
So everybody should just be white, black, Latin, Asian. If you from Africa and you live here in the African, like just why do you need to say African American if you are in America when you say it? Like if I were over in China, Russia or something, and they say, "What are you?" Oh, I'm Black American or I'm African American. That way you give a race and you give where you from. You get what I'm saying? But if you here, why even say American at the end?
That's true. And really, when you be other places, they just be like American.
Yeah, they don't even care about the other
Facts.
That's
stuff.
true.
Facts.
I think that's just another way to, to separate, divide, and
Once
make
again.
sure they maintain their association to their whiteness.
Well,
Crazy. Yeah. Do away with the term altogether. We black. Or if you
yeah,
wanna,
I agree.
you choose what do you want to be called? You want to be called black or you want to be called African? Just whatever. But
I mean, also
the
that
hyphenated names, they don't make sense to me.
I agree. We are here in America. Why are we telling people we are Irish American? We know that we're here. We know that. Y'all, Candyman died. R.I.P. to a legend. Tony Todd. He was also in Hatchet, which is the best movie of all time. And I just wanted to say shout
Never
out to
seen
him.
it either, but rest in peace to that man.
You never seen Candyman?
Nah, it's good.
I mean, it's old now.
Candyman, it's old now, but it was a classic.
Wait, no, I think I've seen the remake though. I seen the remake. I ain't
I
seen
was
the
gonna
original.
say, okay.
But they said the original is scarier, right?
I mean,
Candyman, yeah, Candyman was scary.
No, he's talking about the original.
Yeah, the original. The original
I
was
feel
scary.
like it was scary for its time. Like if you watch it now, you're not gonna be like terrified.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because if you go look in the mirror and you say Candyman, ain't nothing gonna happen.
Well, I'm still not doing that, but I feel you.
Look at you, shook.
I'm not doing that.
But I'm
I
still
mean,
not. I'm still
it
not
was
participating in
scary.
that though.
It was scary. It was.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was real scary. I mean, but I know like I'm a big person that believes in like I like scary movies that remain scary over periods of time. So I can agree like it wouldn't be as because I know like I can go stand in the mirror right now and say Candyman, 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 nothing gonna happen.
I'm not doing that.
Like nah.
I'm good.
Well, one
I
thing
don't know if
one thing that
yeah.
I do. No, I'm saying like, I think that's one of those things with timeless movies. Like some movies that are real scary, like they just stay scary. Um, but like, or some things uh, like what's the most recent remake? The new remake of Penguin Fire, Pure Fire. Like
That
it's
show is
it's
so
it's
good.
thing it's things like that. Like when you get it right, it's timeless. Like so, the story we all know the story of Batman, Gotham, and like enough. Like I don't even know like the comics, but I've seen them so much in my life now. Like I knew enough like that. I remembered the original Penguin. Um, with Michael Keaton, I think was the Batman, and so like as I was watching the show. I just remember like certain tidbits, but not even enough to follow it along because I never read the comics, but enough that like it was so enjoyable that they did an amazing, incredible job with it. So I think when you have any type of uh when you make it any type of media or cinema, it's always nice when it's something that can be timeless for sure. I really enjoy
Yeah.
because you got Beyonce's new Baywatch. She clowning us. She ain't never gonna give us no visuals.
Did y'all
We're
actually
not
watch
getting
the whole
those.
video?
It's like, yeah, I did. Cause I mean, she ain't put nothing. We haven't gotten anything, like from her new from what is the album called? Cowboy Carter or Carter Cowboy. She been doing everything for Sir Davis right now, the whiskey. So I don't think in her hair and the perfume she got going out. Somebody said on Twitter talking about how much is Blue's daycare some or her school, how much does it cost? Because she running the girls for their pockets right now. For sure. But I did watch it. It was good because I like that. Pamela Anderson used to be the pinnacle of I don't know what you call it, Barbie beauty at one point.
That was such a different time.
Yeah, that was like the 90s Americana kind of era.
Yeah. Seems so long ago. I mean, I guess it was. What a different time.
Yeah, it was. She looks interesting, by the way. Pamela Anderson now. I don't know if y'all seen her recently, but
She did.
No, we haven't, thankfully.
I'll just leave that right there.
Wait, y'all, can we go back to Tyson for a second? Did y'all see that interview he did with the 15-year or 14-year-old girl?
No, I heard that he was acting crazy with her.
She asked him something about how you feel about your legacy or something. He was like, "What legacy? We all just gonna die. I hate when people be talking about legacy because that's just made up. We all just die and that's it." And he was going on and on about it. I said, "Ooh, he kept it a little too real. That's a child, Mike. You could have said something else."
He was definitely talking to her like he was in prison. But now that I'm listening to his tone, like that was probably right after Netflix and them had a conversation with him, like, yo, you can't beat him. Like, we going to decision. And he might have been hot. So he was just like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wow, look at that.
I just thought that was funny.
The little kid, she was just like so in shock, just like, okay yeah.
She wasn't prepared.
Well,
She wasn't ready.
all right.
I don't think people remember that he actually off his rocker.
Never had no sense.
Well, I was
None.
thinking that too. I'm like, y'all know this man crazy. Why would you even have a 14-year-old girl interviewing him anyway?
That's what I was thinking. Like, where are her parents? This is not a good. It's not a good idea.
Who
That's
signed
what
off on this?
That's what I'm saying. Like when people keep saying that, I'm like, when he said before the fight and he kissed the man and he walked around with his behind out. I'm like, y'all know who he is, right? Like he is Mike Tyson. Like
he bit someone's ear off. The man is schizophrenic. Like he bit someone's ear off.
I think they forgot because he been on his little positive shit, writing books and giving, and he been on his woo woo shit for a little while. So I think they forgot.
Girl, no, he ain't. He sell edible gummies that are in the shape of ears.
Wait, what?
I mean,
That's
the white
crazy.
people. I think the white people forgot.
Nah, they ain't
We
forget.
remember.
No, they ain't forget. It's like what you said. We appropriate culture so much that these characters they try to emulate, but it's like sometimes you need the real thing, and that's what it really is. It's like they pay. Somebody said, if Mike was doing this for a check, and he wasn't, I don't think he was doing it for a check to get knocked out.
I don't think so at all.
Yeah, it would have changed. It would have changed my whole childhood too, and that's what I'm saying is I think he's the real thing, and you can't recreate that. Like you can't AI Mike Tyson because you don't know what he gonna do. And he was like that, like the only thing that was predictable about him in the 90s was that everybody was going to be at the fight. Everybody was going to pay for the fight. And everybody was going to win. And he was going to knock. And you was going to be mad because he done knocked him out before you, while you went and got you another cup of yak. I mean,
we done ordered all this chicken and the fight over while I'm trying to fix my plate. This is crazy.
He would do that, and so but that was the real thing. You can't replicate that. And so I think that's what that brought, because like I said in the beginning of the episode, like I didn't understand why people even wanted to see a Mike Tyson fight. Like I didn't want to see him
I was confused about
in a ring. Like that don't even seem appealing to me.
He look good out there?
Girl, ain't nobody see it because it was buffering. Didn't I tell you that?
For like a 60-year-old, yeah.
It was bad.
58. But after the fight, he definitely looked old as hell. I ain't gonna lie.
Nah,
before the fight, he ain't look old, is what you saying?
And then during the fight, he looked old, but I meant like his movements, like being a former him being like a former athlete and stuff. Like and then during the fight, like Roy Jones, another old head boxer, like he just kept talking about Mike Tyson knees, like yeah, his knees about to give out. Yeah, that knee break, that knee locking up. I see you right there, because they fought 4 years ago. Roy Jones versus Mike Tyson.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Mike Tyson won that one, but yeah, they I know they trying to probably sell this again, probably do like a rematch, but come on now, just sit down, Mike. Just
sit down.
You'll be all right. You'll be all right.
You old. Sit down.
I mean, they present you with a check. You got to go get the check now, because I kept saying, like, Mike Tyson didn't go to Jake Paul looking for this. Jake Paul came to Mike Tyson. You get what I'm saying? Because
Exactly.
it's something that he can sell. You always gonna be able to sell Mike Tyson's name and likeness. So if they say, "Yo, I got 20 million for you," you only got to fight for 15 minutes because they only did 2-minute rounds, and it was only 8 rounds. So it wasn't like he was up there. They was up there playing pity pat for the most of the fight. So I go get that 20 million too.
I mean, correct.
I'm just mad he was just presented that to the world like that.
He 58.
Hello.
What he supposed to do?
Sit down.
Sit
Something
down.
other than this. Yes. You don't have to. All money
Look,
not
did
good
you
money. All
20
money
million for
man.
16 minutes? I get what you're saying. He did. I don't think he needed the money.
I don't think he
But
needed to
when
be
it's
like
there,
this.
when it's there and it's so simple, why not?
You're right. I probably would have had a hard
Well,
time
that's
saying no to that in his position.
yeah, that's what I'm saying is if you looking at it from that perspective, right, where like again, this you're selling yourself and that's that market is there, cool. But like I said, I for those of us who enjoyed Tyson fights as children in the 90s, there is no way to duplicate that, like, period. So that was for Jake Paul and his fan base. That wasn't for us, because for us,
At
it would
all.
have been a pleasure to see him knock him out. I would have really enjoyed that. But that didn't happen, and we knew that wasn't gonna happen. So yeah.
So yeah, one more thing, like it wasn't Mike Tyson couldn't lose. Like the only person that could lose is Jake Paul. Either way you look at it, Jake Paul wins. Oh, you beat a 58-year-old man. Jake Paul loses. Damn, you lost to a 58-year-old man. Like you get what I'm saying?
That's true. Yeah.
No, well, that's what
Yeah.
I'm.
If Mike
But
Tyson won, oh shit, he's still Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson lose. Well, he 58. He get a pass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
but that's what I'm saying is that I guess that's where I land on my point is like in our era we simply wanted to see a Tyson fight because we knew he was gonna knock the person out. So to me, I just didn't understand what was the purpose of this fight in general, other than them paying for Mike Tyson, the character, who he is, right? But everything that comes with Mike Tyson, Mr. Off His Rocker. Like, that's what I'm saying is like, for me, like, I don't think when we saw, what was that, Holyfield, we wasn't expecting that he was do something crazy like eat somebody ear off. Like, that was just crazy extreme. Nobody, everybody was kind of like, when he did it, everyone's like, did he just eat his ear? And then he spit it out. So it's like stuff like that,
Yeah.
You know what? I think I just thought about this, like, because like you said, P Money, like this wasn't like a fight nobody was asking for. I think this was a Netflix experiment. They're like, let's see how we could do with pay-per-view events. Like there's only a couple boxers that can create this type of hype. Like Jake Paul obviously has his own fan base being a YouTuber, but you got Mike Tyson, you got Floyd Mayweather, and probably Conor McGregor. Just there's really only those three names in history that can probably generate that kind of buzz from a boxing match. So I'm sure they probably said, okay, let's try to. They probably couldn't get Floyd, probably couldn't get Conor McGregor. So it was like, okay, well, let's try and get, because those are like real fighters. You know what I'm saying? So they probably would see this as like a gimmick or some shit. Even though Floyd been doing a lot of gimmicky fights lately, but they probably say, okay, well, we'll take Jake Paul and his fan base. Everybody's going to want to see Mike Tyson. We'll just couple those together and create a fight and put it on Netflix. And I think that's probably just what happened. It was just a Netflix experiment. Can our servers hold this type of event? There's probably 40 million people watching because everybody got Netflix. So I'm sure that's probably how the fight came about.
And clearly, it was a fail.
Yep. And the Netflix, y'all can't be out here checking everybody's household every 5 minutes, but y'all can't even y'all can't keep that stream going. Nah.
Use your resources, usefully, like when they actually need it. Y'all had one job. One job.
Yeah. And so I think, with that, we're just going to take a quick break and we're going to be back.
Wait, before we go to break, I just want to say shout out to Tropical Storm Sarah.
Girl, bye. Ain't nobody, not even cool, though. Like, because you got a name
I see you, my girl. I see you, my girl. We here.
No, we'll be right back, y'all. All right, welcome back. So, we done talked a lot about the economy, but I'm telling y'all right now, if y'all take y'all black behinds out there and spend your money at Black Friday and Cyber Monday, you are part of the problem. Y'all that keep out here with these things, I don't think I've ever, maybe I said it on the pod before, or maybe not, but I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. And because one, it's a colonizer holiday, and two, it's like, why are y'all carrying on these traditions because it's traditional? Why? What's the point? What y'all need to do is save your money and just treat it like another holiday. Why do y'all feel like y'all need to go and get the chitlins and y'all got to make the macaroni and y'all got to make greens? Like, what do y'all, why? Because it feels good? This is what I'm talking about. Y'all just went through an election cycle where they don't care about Black culture. They don't care about Black people. So what y'all celebrating for? Why y'all having a holiday? Is that going to make you feel better?
Our family topic of the day is Thanksgiving traditions and if they're still relevant. And to your point, P, I personally, my family situation is different now. I'm actually good on Thanksgiving. It's just not giving. I guess as you grow up, holidays are different and stuff, and it's just not giving like peaceful and calm. And that's what I'm about these days. So I might go have me a nice steak dinner. I don't want to cook. I don't really want to see no turkey and gravy. I don't want to see none of that. What you got? Research? You was finna say something.
Well, I've already have a whole menu for myself, but most times for Thanksgiving, I would either like be working or working. So I'm, definitely looking forward to just eating, relaxing, and, pouring back into me. But I did go grocery shopping because I'm gonna be hungry. So
I'm indifferent on the matter, but I do understand why people still do it. Like, for a lot of people, it's the one time a year they see their family. Maybe even whether it be all at the same time or just those 3 or 4 members that maybe don't live near you, but will come every year for Thanksgiving or vice versa. I get it.
But then it's like, it seemed like a lot of times people be going to these family events and don't even like each other for real. It's like, you didn't have to go, right?
Yeah, it's part of being a family, though. You ain't gonna like everybody. They ain't gonna like you. People gonna beef in the family. I get it. Makes it kind of fun, though.
Nah. Nope. Nope. Nah, if anything, I'm gonna go around there and I'm gonna take my Tupperware and I'm gonna go get me a plate to go. But
I will get a plate.
I will get a plate now. Like if I was up where research at, I'd go get a plate from her because I trust her cooking. But everybody, that's what I'm saying. We're talking about it from the Black perspective, but I done been to some non-Black Thanksgivings and they can't cook. So y'all just over here
Well,
wasting
that's
food.
different now. Yeah,
But
I feel that.
we
I
got
feel
all
that.
kinds of listeners. Like, they love their little green bean casserole. It's like, girl, bye.
Mm,
They love that little green bean casserole and they make their little dry behind macaroni and they dry stuff it and they dry dressing.
What else they be doing? The potato salad with the raisins in it?
ew.
Is it potato salad? They do something else with raisins in it. I'm like,
They
ugh. Raisins nasty by themselves.
they love their little cranberry juice, cranberry sauce or whatever they call it.
So I do like
Research
Come on
they
now,
love.
cranberry
You need
sauce.
cranberry sauce with turkey. Gotta have the cranberry sauce with
Yeah,
turkey.
I do
I'm
like
good.
the
I don't
jelly
need
one.
I don't need
The
it.
one that's really.
I don't need it either.
I love it.
No. And
Not with actual cranberries in it though. The
Yeah.
cranberry sauce out the can.
Yeah, it's just the jelly
Yeah,
one. It's like
yeah,
Jello. It look
that
like
one.
yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
need it.
And then the deep fried turkey saved them because before they was messing up turkeys up. They ain't know how to cook no turkey.
Fried turkeys. Yeah.
Girl, that the peanut oil be saving them. Okay? Because you was supposed to do stuff with the turkey, but they just be, dropping it in there and thank God, turkey.
Speak. Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm saying with turkeys, the brining and all the things you can do with it. But if you don't do nothing else to a turkey but kind of just brine it a little bit and drop it in there, it's gonna taste all right. It ain't one of those, if you don't know how to make no turkey or season it correctly, you can have just regular turkey meat.
Y'all, speaking of which, I went to y'all cousin house last year and they undercooked the turkey.
I'm telling you,
We
dog.
got a
People
lot of cousins.
be messing up. I'm telling you, people be messing up turkey, dog.
I think I remember this story.
They had put it in like 5 hours before.
Oh, I remember this.
Trying to tell you, man, people be messing up
It'd
turkeys.
be your own family, bro.
It's like all you need to do is do some turkey wings. Like, why you gotta try to do the whole turkey?
Well, I got 2 Cornish hens that I'll be,
That's what's up.
doing my thug dizzle on, and I'm making 2 different mac and cheeses. So,
Speaking of fried turkey, my old lady just told me to Popeyes do the fried turkeys.
oh yeah,
Cajun fried
Yeah, the
turkey.
Cajun fried
I
turkeys.
was just
She
gonna
said
say
they
that.
like $100.
Yeah,
whoa,
It used to be $50.
they used to be $50. Yeah, I told y'all
A honey
inflation.
bun, a whole honey bun.
And then people gonna be in line at them honey baked ham stoves over there fighting.
Wait,
Telling you.
Dub, y'all cooking?
Of course.
I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, I'll be subscribing to all these.
You know what's up.
Mm-mm.
Slide.
The only thing that's cool about Thanksgiving is Christmas
The
coming
parade?
right after that with the trees.
Is it too early? I really want to put mine up now.
Nah, it's not too
Do
early.
that shit.
It ain't never too early.
people have year-round trees.
Yeah,
Okay,
some
now
people
that's
keep
too
them up.
far.
No,
Yeah,
it's
we
actually
usually leave
cool.
ours up till like May.
No, some people do that.
I mean, I definitely left mine up last year till like May, but I was just being lazy.
Nah, my old lady loved Christmas, so we don't mind. We leave that shit up.
I love Christmas too.
Yeah, y'all had the Feliz Navidad balloons.
Yeah, that
Oh,
mother still
yeah,
up
they
there,
did
too.
have
It's still
that.
up there.
They still.
About that.
They did have that.
Okay, so actually, I know I mentioned her like twice in the last 5 minutes, but my old lady was asking me like, what do you have to have on Thanksgiving and Christmas? I was like, Thanksgiving, you got to have a turkey. Christmas, you got to have a ham. But Thanksgiving, traditionally, my family usually do turkey and ham on Thanksgiving. But
Yeah.
the turkey is the actual staple of Thanksgiving, and then
And just a
Christmas,
small
the
ham.
staple is the ham. But really, you could do both for each. Really,
We used to do turkey and a small ham for Thanksgiving. And we used to do Cornish hens for Christmas. We switched it up on y'all.
Yeah,
And maybe a
she
ham.
said she'll probably do a ham and some Cornish hens for Christmas.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, I feel like they used to always do both. For sure. Yeah, I think they always did both in my family.
Sorry, she just corrected me. She said, "What'd you say? Ham, lamb, and Cornish hens?"
Lamb. Come on,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, lamb.
For
Yeah, Thanksgiving. When I hosted Thanksgiving, the last time I hosted, I did a rack of lamb. Fire.
Yeah,
I ain't making lamb for y'all niggas. That shit expensive.
beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, hog.
Yes. Lamb is that's nice.
Yeah,
We ain't got nothing else. We ain't got nothing else.
Well, but I ain't had no turkey. I did turkey. I did turkey pieces. I did wings.
Popeye's gonna charge $100 for that turkey now.
Yeah, they do.
they corporate
Oh, you
America
looked it
gonna
up to
get
confirm?
theirs.
You looked it up to confirm, twin?
No, I was just sitting here pondering on it because I actually the other day I was like, well, maybe I'll just get me a turkey, a Popeye's turkey for the house, you know. Hell no.
Bruh,
What I wish-
$100, bruh. You lazy if you gonna pay $100 for a turkey instead of just making one.
It used to be $50.
I mean,
And I think it was 30 at one point.
I wish they would cut it for you so you can get like a meal.
Yeah.
Go pull up and get some of their turkey and some mashed potatoes and gravy. I'd pay $20 for that. You know who does great turkeys? Whole Foods actually does a really good. I'm gonna slide over there. They usually have like a little Thanksgiving menu close to Thanksgiving. They'll serve like their turkey and their mashed potatoes. And, you know, they mac and cheese. If you had a good one, their mac and cheese is pretty good. So yeah, Whole Foods does a real good job with Thanksgiving because I think, when I lived in Tallahassee, I used to go there and get some. It was awesome.
This
Good
is
gravy.
a very, very big back conversation, and I'm here for it. I'm so hungry. This is making me hungry.
I'm hungry.
No cap. Like we just sitting here talking about food. Big back. Ooh, I'm hungry.
And then y'all making me change my mind. I'm like, well, I could put some turkey wings in the oven.
I'm telling you,
Put
just
a little greens on the stove.
That's because we can cook. But I'm telling you, y'all be pulling up the people's house and they over there with their little
Yeah.
Ooh, some smothered turkey wings.
Telling you, with some put that in there with that what's that? The mushroom gravy. Campbell's. Use that Campbell's. But yeah, so yeah, we get to that time of year, so we want to make sure we wish y'all a happy holiday. Happy holidays to all of you guys. That's the one thing that always kind of interesting about election year is it takes us right into the holidays, and so spend time with your family, your loved ones, and be in a spirit of gratitude, be in a spirit of blessings, be in a spirit of gratefulness, all those things. And so really, really looking forward to the holidays this year and just, easing into 2025. What y'all got? What y'all taking a shot to for 2025. Y'all there
5
yet?
o'clock.
Or y'all not there yet?
Oh, I'm there. I'm all the way there.
You already in 2025.
Correct. I'm spending the last few months preparing. So January 1st, it's up. I'm
Yeah.
still in my whole season.
Okay.
Happiness
Claim
over
it.
everything. Okay. What you got, Doug?
Now I was saying claim that shit.
Yeah.
This
It's
ain't our year-end wrap up yet.
No, not yet, but I done thought of a master plan and I've started to put it in place. So I'm just excited for things to come, you know. I keep saying whole season, but sadly I'm not in actual whole season. It's real dry out here. But I am pursuing happiness over everything. And so I'm gonna take a shot of water to that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with healing. If anything that I learned through this last year, is how wounded, how hurt, how broken, a lot of people just are right now, and broken in spirit, broken in, and that's because I think me and Twin are both empaths. And one thing that I did feel is just the weight of how people just deal with disappointment, and not being able to um feel like they have any way to fight, or they have any way to uh fight against the ideologies, or that there is no, the realization that there is no real equality, or people having that shared mindset. And I think for me, I'm a really thinking from a place of healing, um just in my own journey, in my own life. But as for the collective, I think that there's a lot of people that just are struggling in that way. And they find that in social media or in digital ways to kind of use it as an outlet. But I really hope um, that people strive to find healing in self, um, so that they can, really start to live from a place of not just me, but we, if that makes sense. Because if anything, this last year has taught me is that we're in a society that's not we, and it is just I and self. And um, I just don't think humanity is better that way. I think we're always going to be better together. That's one of my biggest ethos, that I believe as a big belief system. And so I think that just starts from a place of healing. So that's what I'm on for the end of the year and into 2025. So I'm going to take a shot to that with my water, because it's good for you and it's delicious. What you got, Dub? Dub say.
I'm going to take a shot for my Miami Hurricanes and Miami Dolphins. Need the Hurricanes finish up strong. Need the Dolphins to turn thing around now that we got our quarterback back. Hopefully they can fix that. Great year from Cam Ward. Hopefully they finish up, and that's all I got. I'm gonna keep it light and fun. So shout out to the Miami teams, and that's where my shot go.
What you taking a shot of?
Hen dog.
Okay. Research.
Well, I'm not doing handout, but I got some ACV water
Okay.
that I've been drinking. So I'll be taking a shot of that. I think for me, ending 2024 just with a better plan for 2025. And really being more like disciplined in what I want to get out of certain things, out of aspects of life. This new journey I'm going on to this new state out, on the west side of the world. So I'm excited about that. Just, new beginnings and getting disciplined about some stuff. Because I really want to have like a revenge body. So it's like
What term was that again? Can I hear that again? What is
it's
that?
a revenge, just a really nice sculpted body. They call it like a revenge body to get back at, like your exes and stuff. But I don't really have nobody to get back at except the old version of me. So,
I like that. Maybe you should start rapping.
Okay.
On that note, I'm taking a shot of the ACB water.
Love that for you.
Well, health is wealth. And with that, we want to wish all of y'all again a very happy holiday season. Please make sure y'all continue to shout out to all the love that we receive on not just YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. We might be leaving Twitter. It's a mass exodus going on. So
You mean X?
Or X, whatever. All I want Elon to do is to fix my algorithm, and I don't think he's gonna fix it. So I think we might have to go on over to Blue Sky. But yeah, make sure you guys check us out on all social media platforms. On X at Call Your Cousins. That's CALLYOURCOUSINS. Instagram, Call Your Cousins Pod. That's with the POD. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Call Your Cousins. And yeah, drop us a line on our email at callyourcousinspod@gmail.com. And with that, we will see y'all next time. Peace.
Bye.
Peace, y'all. But
Bye.
before we go, I got one thing to say real quick. Because you mentioned the social media platform, if you out there on that alternative social media platform that we just mentioned, and you got my Twitter handle, I'm gonna need to get that up off you, bruh. I'm gonna need that. Not Twitter handle, I'm sorry, but you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna need that about you. Holla at me.
Blue Sky. Give A-Dub his name.
I need that. My name is my name. Y'all have a good one.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Peace.